Well, when I was 14 years old, and the war was on, but before the war, they invented in the United States motor scooters, and they had several different kinds, Cushman and Powell and so on, and they had little wheels about this big, but they had motors. Before that, we just had bikes, but they invented these motor scooters, and so in 1940. My brother got a Cushman motor scooter. It had a kickstart and it had a L-head little one-cylinder engine, and they were really cool. And so this is the beginning of the story why I wanted one. And so my drinking uncle, Uncle Byron, who wanted to see the motor scooter. And so he came over, he'd had a few shots. So he came over and wanted to ride it. And my brother says, no. My dad says, oh, let Uncle Byron ride. He wants to ride it. So he did. And he went up 24th Street where we went to see the house, went around and came down, and they chip sealed the Elvis Street. Chip sealed, they put oil down and put the rocks on top. And so Uncle Byron got coming down there, and he got going too fast. And he got too fast, and pretty soon we were watching, and he started wobbling, and pretty soon it goes over, and Uncle Byron goes rolling down the rocks. And the motor scooter was on its side running. And Wayne ran out to help, not Uncle Byron, but the motor scooter. And so he picked up the motor scooter, and Uncle Byron, we had to get him to the hospital. And my brother was more concerned with the motor scooter than Uncle Byron. So anyway, I kind of liked them, and there was a guy had one, a used one, and I'd had a few dollars, and he wanted $100 for it, and I'd saved it up, and my dad said I could get it because those days you didn't have to have a driver's license or anything. So the same thing happens. My friend Fred Post came over and he said he wanted to ride my motor scooter. And I said, no, couldn't ride my motor scooter. Please let me ride your can't ride a motor scooter. I said, okay. He said, well, then take me for a ride. And I said, okay, get on the back and I'll take you for a ride. So we went up 24th Street, down Bella Street to 20th Street. And as I turned to go on 20th Street, these were war times and people didn't have cars much, and they'd ride the bus. And 20th Street was a very narrow street, and the city bus loaded with people was coming up going north. And as I turned the corner, the bus came and hit us square. Hit the motor scooter, Fred Post and me. And the motor scooter went underneath the bus and was just a mass of metal. Fred Post was knocked, I suppose, maybe 100 feet right down the street, rolled down the street. We thought he was dead. And he was sitting right next to me, right behind me. And something I can remember only that when I could see the bus hit, I was lifted up, just like this. Sitting on the curb, and the bus went by. I didn't have a scratch. I didn't have anything on me. It was perfect. And so they got the ambulance, and they thought he was dead, got him to the hospital. And he was in the hospital about a month. And he had concussion, but he survived. They had to cut his head and drain fluid out. And Isaac would know what happens. They had fluid on the brain, I don't know. And but I never even was touched. And there's nothing that could ever indicate physically how a person sitting next to you could be almost killed and you receive not even a scratch. And I can just remember sitting just like someone picked me up and set me on the curb. It was in the paper, but I'd go up to see him when he was in the hospital because, I felt terrible about it. The motor scooter was shot, but he graduated from high school, and because of that injury to his brain, he became a genius. And he went down, graduated from Berkeley, California, and as an engineer, and joined the Apex company Ampex company, and developed he developed and I guess you'd call it, he figured out anyway the first television tape recorder for Ampex Corporation commercially, and he received from President Reagan an Oscar in television. He brought the Oscar to show me later in years because he always liked to come back to reunions. But I'm sure that his genius came because of my motor scooter ride, because that did something to his brain, I think. I don't know. Anyway, that's not the interesting story. Is that I felt in several times in my life I've had experiences where I should have been fatally injured or something, and I don't know where it'd been. Same thing, Isaac, medically, when I was having a little trouble with digestion, maybe I thought ulcers or something, and I went to the gastro doctor, and he said, I think we ought to do a ultrasound, and they did, and when luckily a great radiologist sent a report back that I had a growth on my kidney, just an accidental finding, and so we went to have it taken out. They were going to cut that out of the kidney, but when came time to sew me up, closed, they looked at each other and the surgeons decided to take the whole kidney out. So we said, I'm sorry, but I don't know why, we just took it. Well, the pathology report later came that they didn't get all the cancer out. And if they had not taken the whole kidney, it would likely spread and cause, he said, probably 18 months of it gone. Does the Lord intervene in our lives? I think so. I think so. Just a couple little stories that's amazing why I'm still here at 85 with all the crazy things I did, you know, and racing cars and going up in the mountains, jeeps running over places and almost rolling over. And I mean, it goes on and on and on, and yet somehow I'm still here. Amazing, isn't it?